What's up, guys?
Showing
Catch some waves.
This place is great, but I'm a little cold sitting outside, so we're going to another shop. All right, so looking for this second coffee shop, and I gather that it's part of this church. And here's what the church looks like right now. Looks like a circus. Got Walter White in there, exterminating, cooking meth. And we got fumigation going on, so I think they're closed, but I'm gonna keep walking around just to see. Welcome to the video. This is episode number 4 of the London Marathon Training Series. I'm going for a 2:45 marathon, sub 2:45 marathon at the London Marathon, April 27, 2025. Getting into it, this video is about staying fit and moving towards my goals while traveling. I'm traveling for work now, applies to vacation too. I don't see why there's any reason why you can't move towards your goals, continue to improve, and follow whatever plan it is you have planned as you travel. If you've followed here for a while, you know I'm big on balance. I like to enjoy my life. I don't want to say no to opportunities and trips that excite me simply because, well, I have this race in 8-9 weeks. Now, this is a little different story because I'm here for work. I'm in Santa Cruz, California. And that's another aspect of my life and my training is I work a full-time job. And sometimes these trips are out of my control. All that to say, I'm going to go through just some things that I do both in packing and preparing for my trip, and then what I'm doing here in Santa Cruz, California to keep moving towards that big goal of running 6 17-minute per mile pace for 26.2 miles. First things first, it is Thursday. On Monday of this week, I had a huge run. Let me pull it up real quick on the old Stravs. Monday was my long run, basically for last week. How it shook out is Sunday I was working all day and it just wasn't lining up as the right time to do that long run. I think one of the most difficult things is being rushed when you have a 2.5+ hour run. But Monday I had off, and also Monday the weather was really nice in Memphis. So I decided to do my long run on Monday. I did 18.25 miles. Let's see. Average pace was 7:46 per mile. I threw in about 3 miles at marathon pace. That worked out to 6:18, 6:20 pace. And then I finished with a little sprint. 0.25 miles, 6:07 pace. All that's to say, watch says I burned 2,100 calories, maybe somewhere in like the 1,500 to 2,000 calories range. I felt an inkling of being sick before that run, and then you add that run, so a huge calorie deficit, 2 nights of just pretty subpar sleep, and you can maybe hear I'm a little stuffy. I'm not feeling great. So I just want to prelude this video with that I feel right on the precipice of getting sick, which is such a tough place to be when you're training for something like a marathon where you are in a calorie deficit a lot of times, which is not ideal for the immune system. The big decision for me today is, do I run or not? And frankly, like just keeping it 100% real, which I always try to do on these videos, I don't totally want to run today. I don't know if it's the best thing for me to do. However, doing this video, I almost feel compelled to run. Quite the conundrum here. What I decided on was an easy, very low heart rate effort, as opposed to something like a big workout day, which is what I had originally planned for today. Which brings me to my first point of being on the road. You gotta have flexibility and you gotta be willing to adapt. That might mean changing around days in your plan. That might mean completely changing parts of your plan. If today you're working a lot, but tomorrow you have off, flip-flop your days so that today is either a very light or low volume day, tomorrow is a bigger effort. All that to say, I'm adapting a little bit because of, well, really just the potential sickness here. I've learned over time that pushing it, especially when you're not feeling well, ultimately leads to more time lost than just taking it easy. So we're gonna get into an easy run. There's been a lot of chit-chatting. Big tickle in my throat. Before the run, I'm gonna just go over to my suitcase here, show a few things I prepare for this trip that I think are beneficial to me to stay on track with this plan. I picked these up at the running store. You know I love Tailwind. These are just the portable servings of it. So it's 2 servings, 50 grams of carbs. And today, making the decision to run, one thing I really want to do is make sure I'm getting calories in both before the run, during the run, and then after the run, eating enough so that my body is not wanting more calories, which to me is going to increase the likelihood I get sick. Another tragic part of this trip, and this is part of traveling here, is I always bring a blender bottle to just mix, protein powders, carbohydrate powders, whatever, and great for the airport when you're traveling. I left my blender bottle in Sacramento yesterday, and I'm furious. So I'm gonna have to go get another one today. That's kind of my first, I guess that, leads right into first principle of traveling is it's always easier to bring stuff than it is to go pick stuff up when you arrive somewhere. It seems kind of counterintuitive. Packing things obviously is more cumbersome as you're traveling, but it's just a pain to have to always be moving around, going to get things. So like when I travel to London, for example, I'll be bringing a lot of food with me in my suitcase so that I don't need to be going out in a foreign place trying to get what it is I'm comfortable with eating. Just a little principle there. Let's go over to the suitcase. This could be a terrible angle. Wow. Yeah, that's bad. All right, we're going to just go first person POV for this one. All right, here's my suitcase. So a couple things. First, I'm taking snacks with me wherever I go. So I got the Rise bars. Flip this over. Rise bars, Go Macro bars. For the plane rides, for whenever I need just some extra calories, I got about, you can see, 5 or 6 of each of those in here. I'd way rather have too many than not enough. Okay. I brought 2 pairs of running shoes on this trip, and you might be asking why. These are, as you can see, trail shoes, Saucony Peregrines. I am planning to do a trail, either 8-miler or half marathon this weekend as my kind of like hard effort long run here in Santa Cruz, California. Did a little research before I came, and there's a race on Saturday or Sunday, one of those 2 days. So I'm planning to do it. So I brought the trail shoes for that. There's some really great trails in this area. All right, moving on. All right, in this bag is my high carb powder. I double bag it so it doesn't get all over everything in my suitcase. Boom. Scratch, super high carb. This stuff is great and gets you about 100 grams of carbs in a serving. I'm going to I'm going to run with a bottle of this on my run today so that I'm getting calories in as I am burning them. All right. It's another reason the blender bottle is huge. It's got obviously like a wide mouth, so it's easy to just mix stuff in. This is just a pain in the ass. Got to do like the little finger funnel here. Just a lot of white powder. Just kidding. We're back at the hotel. In my head, I envisioned this video a little more like a day in the life vibe and taking the camera along for a full day here in Santa Cruz, California. Just didn't really work out like that. Post run, I got some Chipotle, ate that, which I did not film, as you haven't seen. Worked for about 4 hours here. And then just had some fun out in Santa Cruz. Did some surfing. I've never surfed before. Got out on the water, which was a blast. So kind of like some exercise. The Pacific Ocean is very cold and I did not have a wetsuit, but said fuck it and just went and enjoyed. Probably was in the water for about 30, 45 minutes. And then just came back, took a hot shower, chilled for a sec, got some dinner with some coworkers, and now it's 8:45. So the day is pretty much gone. I'm also still just not feeling well, and part of what I wanted to do tonight was lift as well, show that, but it's just not happening. And I ran 6.5, almost 7 miles today, which felt great at a nice, easy pace. And I just want to give my body a break. I think another night of good sleep and continuing to do what I'm doing, hydrating, taking my vitamins, eating good food, will hopefully yield feeling a little better tomorrow. So all that to say, wanted this video to be a little more entertaining and provide some value that way. Hasn't exactly been that. So I know I've been sitting and talking a lot to the camera, which I did not want to do, but I do want to provide some value here. So what I'm going to do is go through actually a week of training for myself, how I build out a week, what it looks like, and what like my template for plans and everything looks like. So we got the screen recording here, and this is a plan I made for my sister, Lindsay, as she was training for, as you can see, CIM, the California International Marathon, going for a sub 325 marathon, which is a Boston qualifier. Happy to say she ran a 324, a huge PR for her. I think over 20 minutes, maybe over 30 minutes PR. And she absolutely crushed it. I couldn't be happier for her. But this is what my template looks like for training plans. Throw in dates here, and I kind of roll month to month. So we're in February, almost in March. I like to just keep it simple. with my training weeks going from Monday to Sunday. And what I would start with, I'll go on this row right here, is like a target weekly mileage. So for me, at this juncture, I am somewhere in like probably the 55 mile range. So we'll just put 55 miles total here so we have an idea of what we're trying to hit. Now, this upcoming weekend, I will probably run a half marathon here in Santa Cruz. Still working out the details, but either way, I'll either have a half marathon or a long run. My long run this past week was 18 miles. This will either be a hard half marathon or probably another 18-mile effort. And it's also worth noting that I will be 8 weeks out from the 2025 London Marathon. So as I'm thinking about training, I want my peak weeks to be about 5, 4, 3 weeks out from the race. So we are getting near peak week time. Monday, always a chill day coming off of a hard effort over the weekend, whether it was a long run, whether it was the half marathon I might do. So I want to keep Monday chill. So I'll do just 6 to 8 miles easy. I like to give wiggle room there for myself. Just takes the pressure off of me of not having to do, okay, this is 8 miles easy today, and if you do 7.9, you're a failure. I just like to give a little range and some wiggle room. So if I'm feeling great, I'll go do 8. If I'm crunched for time or just really tired and not feeling well, I'll probably do 6. And I think it's worth noting too that I built this up over the years. Like my easy runs on these days used to be 3, 4 miles. Then it was 5. Now it's closer to like 6, 7, 8. Tuesday, I am going to have a workout on Tuesday. And workout days for me are usually interval-based workouts. I found that's the fastest way and the best way for me to get faster. And yeah, they're always hard. I don't know how else to say it. I love mile repeats. I love kilometer repeats. 2-mile repeats are great as well. And I think on Tuesday, we're gonna go a little crazy, and we're gonna go with 3 by 2 miles with 1 mile warm up and 1 mile cool down. That's a little big there. And we're actually going to change this just to get a little more mileage in for the week to a 2-mile warm up. So that's about a 9-mile day. Perfect. Now, after these workout days, excuse me. After these workout days, I like to do what I consider the second of 4 very important runs throughout the week. I call it like a mid-size easy run. So these are just our standard kind of lower mileage easy runs. I like to do a mid-size easy run here. So I'm going to do 11 miles easy on Wednesday. I like to do it the day after the workout day just because your legs are tired. A lot of times I will also lift on this day. So I'm actually going to put that in here. I will say legs lift right here, just so I remember to do it. Keeping my high days high, so really stressing the legs on this day. My legs are going to be sore, tired, and I still want to get a quality session in on Wednesday. Obviously can't do any sort of speed work, but that's why I love throwing in these longer mid-size easy runs where I'll work up from beginning my plan, maybe 8 miles on these days, all the way up to probably 13 miles in these peak weeks. So, great. Thursday, you can already look at our mileage is building up. Let's say we do 8 on this day. We have 9 this day. That's 17. We're already at 28 miles for the week. Leaving, if my math is correct, about 27 miles left for the rest of the week. With that being said, I'm going to take this day off, actually. I work in off days into all my plans. I think they're important. I think they help with, number one, keeping me fresh, keeping my body fresh, but also just my mind and my spirit fresh as well. Friday and Saturday, We're going to be gearing up for this Sunday big effort. So I'm actually going to put this one in first. This is, and I'm actually going to go double trouble on this one. I know I said these two are two of my big sessions for the week. I'm going to kind of go double on this, where this is going to combo as my long run, which are very, very important. You need to have long runs in your training, and a tempo run. So I will throw down for this day. I'm going to do it'll be a 20-mile day. So we're going to go 20 miles on Sunday. I thought about that for a minute because I did, we'll say 18 miles on this day, 18 miles on this day. Want to keep building. I was just debating between doing another 18-mile day or bumping up to 20. I think it's important to gradually work your way up. So this build, I started with 14, then I did 16 for a couple weeks in a row, 18, now 20. The difference with this, though, is what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 12 easy, and then I'm going to do 8 tempo miles. Tempo miles for me are under marathon pace. You want them near that lactate threshold pace. So for me, it's probably going to be like low 6 minutes per mile, I think is where I sit right now for that speed. And I'd love to do those at the end, the last 8 miles. So I'm running on some tired legs. I get the 12 in, and then the last 8 are going to be a little quicker. So we're looking at our week now. We have 31 miles, another 9, that's 40, and we're at about 48. So these days, kind of filler days for me. I think I can definitely bump up mileage as the weeks go on, which I will do. For this, though, I'm fine with like a 55-ish mile week. So I'm just going to do an easy 5 on both these days. We're basically getting my legs ready for this big session. That's my week. As you can see, it's basically these, filler easy runs. You can definitely build volume with these by just bumping them up from 5 to 6 to 8 to 10 miles. Have this big workout session. 3x2 miles is an absolute grinder. And then 11 easy, our mid-size run. And then 20 miles. Big session. Last thing I'll do here is just thinking about my lifts. I don't really like to schedule them on any specific day. I do them more as time allows, just knowing that I want to get 3 lifts in throughout the course of the week. So I'll just put in push lift here and pull lift. And that's my week. That's how I go about planning each week. Again, mileage, I would say week to week, you want to increase about no more than 10%. Doesn't even have to be that much. So you'll see here, going with 60 miles, let's say the next week, 65 as we get to 6 weeks out, getting towards that peak. I'm more of a lower mileage guy. That's just me. That's what works best for me. But totally up to you how you want to rock and roll. I think the most important thing I can stress is find what works for you. I like to run, I like to lift, and this is how it works best for me. That's the video. I hope this was valuable. If you want this template or you have any questions or anything, just throw it in the comments. I'm happy to send it over or answer any questions you have. If you have any criticisms, throw them in there too. I'd love to hear them. Anyway, that's episode 4 of London Marathon Prep. Releasing a video every week on Fridays, and I'm excited to keep it going. We'll get a little more entertainment for next video, I promise. Hope you have a great week, and holla!